Good evening, Indore. I'm Praveen Rao. Global Bharat Movement, in association with TV9 and several partners, and in Indore we have Oswal Technologies as our partner here, uh, is something that we have created not now, but this was created in the year 2020. That was the time when SAP felt that we need to work very closely with the businesses, specifically emerging businesses of India, to help them succeed with technology. We created a community called Growth Matters Forum. You can still check it out, called growthmattersforum.com. That's the community that came together. And today we have 32,000 mid-sized companies as members of that community who came together to find mentors, to give advice to the businesses. And that community proliferated in a certain way to actually become a self-sustained model for businesses in India. This year, on 24th of March, we have kicked off Global Bharat Movement campaign in association with TV9. And so far, today we are in the 16th city. In the last 2 months of time, we have covered majority of the South India by visiting 7 major business clusters in South, 8 major business clusters in West of India, including places like Kolhapur, Nasik, Nagpur, Vadodara, to name a few. And finally, after that journey, we are in Indore. Indore is having several records to itself. I need not tell it to the local people of Indore, but this is mostly for my friends from SAP, who are first time in Indore, that this has been the education hub. It is perhaps the only city in the country which has both IIT and IIM, correct? For the 6 years in a row, this has been the cleanest city in the country. Infrastructure is phenomenal. So we can go on and on to talk about Indore. So without wasting much time, I wish to give you a quick preview about the Global Bharat campaign's journey so far.
India is projecting a more self-assured version of itself to the world than ever before. Paving the way to this bulletproof economy are our homegrown businesses. Taking our growth story beyond key business hubs of India to emerging industry clusters across Bharat. As key industry clusters fire the growth engine of a new India, SAP India, in association with TV9 Network, celebrates India's holistic techno-economic growth. Welcome to Global Bharat Movement, a traveling roadshow that brings together eminent business leaders, tech visionaries, and practitioners across diverse sectors. The Global Bharat Movement 2.0 kicked off in style at a gala function in Bengaluru on 24th March. Chief Architect of Aadhaar, Dr. Pramod Verma, set the tech-led development narrative, talking about key pillars of Digital India.
India now runs world's largest direct benefit transfer program, DBT. 860 million people, 86 crore people have bank account attached to their Aadhaar.
In 5 weeks, the roadshow has travelled to 7 cities in the south. The south leg culminated with a thought-provoking keynote by Dr. Raj Gopal from IIT Madras Incubation Cell. The roadshows received an overwhelming response from participants.
2 months implementation, all credits to the team which came along with that. Their knowledge, in fact, it's what that helped. And it's a very good planned, like we planned months before itself, before we start all the operations, and great support from SAP also with respect to that.
From any technology point of view, the ease at which you can extract something is what drives innovation. And similar with SAP, I'm sure, as the gentleman pointed out, 4 weeks of implementation compared to, say, months earlier is the time.
And now, the stage is set for Global Bharat Movement, creating waves across the rest of India.
So without wasting much time, I would want to call upon my colleague on stage, Mr. Ramakrishna Panagrahi, Sales Director, SAP India.
Thank you, Praveen. When we started, you would have understood that when we started this journey 25 years back, we started with solutions like R3, and then slowly it got transformed to ECC, and then it came to S/4HANA on-premise. So in this entire journey, we have seen like our presence has got deeply enrooted into a lot of organizations. So basically, when we came in 2010, it was mostly the 5,000 crore plus companies who were adopting SAP. When we moved on to 2020, that was the time when there was a lot of uncertainty with the COVID, and customers were approaching us, trying to say that we are completely lost, what to do, what not to do. That is when our growth increased with a lot of companies adopting technology. To withstand that particular shock of macroeconomic issues, most of the mid-market organizations, they have adopted technology in the form of SAP, and that's where we have grown to almost more than 20 plus cities across India. We are coming to 63 plus cities across the complete country, right? So now the new age technologies, we have come up with some new age technologies where the transition of the customers is happening on public cloud. When we are mid-market organizations who could be in the turnover range of, let's say, 100 crores yesterday, they would come to a turnover, they are looking at a scale of growth, maybe 500 crores in the next 3 years or 5 years and beyond that. While they are growing in scale, there needs to be a continuous innovation. So the continuous innovation comes with the right kind of technology, and that is where SAP comes into play with minimum IT investment by moving into the cloud. The most important factor today is the real-time data. The decisions have to be taken faster. And for that, getting real-time data is most important whenever we are doing any transactions or any kind of analytical reports. Since 2000, 52% of companies in the Fortune 500 have gone out of business. The biggest reason for that is innovation. Innovation is very, very important. And today, with the digital startups, the companies are reaching to that particular stage in just 4 years. So this is the kind of growth. You talk about Zomato, you talk about Swiggy, you talk about any startup company, they are growing at scale, they are growing in large, and they are growing it with only technology innovation. These are some of the tasks which makes like as we are growing as an economy, India is growing in economy, so the companies are also investing. The companies are investing in terms of expanding their locations, expanding their plants. 29% of the GDP is contributed by the SMEs today. With these 50 years of industry presence, SAP has also come up with something called as SAP best practices. So those best practices are contributed to current technology trends to our customers with the public cloud solutions. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ramakrishna. That was really helpful. I wish to invite my colleague Rishabh Devgan. He's the ICA lead for SAP, and he will give you some very interesting facts and demo about how SAP as a technology is evolving at times. Rishabh, over to you.
Grow with SAP. What Grow with SAP is basically a amalgamation of entirely the technologies as well as the tool sets that you require for your business to grow to become the technological backbone or the cloud ERP for your enterprise. So it comes with the cloud ERP as well as the acceleration methodologies that impact your adoption, reduce your adoption time, as well as help you scale going forward. So if I talk about key levers, which I'm going to talk about today, that entail grow with SAP, the first one would be predictability. So how predictable this cloud solution can be, how you can envision, I'll talk about it more in the further slides. Secondly, how much cost effectiveness that comes with the cloud technology as well, so it is cost effective. Thirdly, rapid time to implementation. So what we have done here from SAP is that we have drastically reduced the time of adoption, which was there once when we had the model of on-premise environment, right? So that we have completely gone away with the word and the way technology is moving forward. Moving forward, when I talk about covering your business end to end, so this is something what I will talk about briefly. These are the business processes. So SAP keeping the business at the heart and center of it, we have covered these major business processes end to end. Lead to cash when we call it. So that is the business process which entails the sales process, right from your quote creation to your pricing, to your promotions, your order, your sales order booking, your fulfillment, and the reflecting part of the finance that comes up with each of the processes. Next one being the source to pay process. So when I talk about it, it is about the procurement. So the time when you initiate a sourcing, even auctioning processes, reverse auctioning processes, that can even be, covered by SAP solutions along with the ERP. Then you have the processes which we talk about with regards to the invoicing and paying, collaborating with your suppliers. I'll touch upon that briefly towards the end of the presentation as well. Third one is plan to fulfill. That is the process of manufacturing and completely having a track of your production as well as your supply chain operation. So your planning, your scheduling, your procurement of raw material. Whenever there is a shortage, you have to plan and interlink these processes to your other processes like source to pay and procurement. And then you have to keep a tab of your production, how much throughput you are generating out of your production line, to the level of your each machine, if that gives you data, right? At the end, it's all about the data that those machines talk to your ERP. So basically, if I talk about it, this is something that we call as digital demand assessment. So when you show interest into this solution, this is where we, along with our partners, will do a scoping to you. When I say that SAP S/4HANA Public Cloud is predictable, this is what I mean, that you have a clear view as to which scope items are very relevant to your business and which you should select while going forward with the implementation. So this is how SAP is ensuring that the scope that you are going forward with is very transparent to you at the time of initiation only. So that when you go forward, you get it delivered in a way that you know that these set of business processes or these kind of type of practices which I want will be covered in the solution. So this is the way each of these scope items can be reviewed further from that tool, and even you can get the details as to which kind of users or which kind of process flows comes with part of it. There is even a learning portal enabled in that same tool so that you can get a vision of it and you can get enabled with regards to the best practices in the industry. So this is just an example. Now the question that comes very frequently to us when we talk about cloud technology is about security and how my data will be secure. Now when I talk about cloud software, it is something resting somewhere in somebody else's server. How secure will that be for me, right? We might have this question or certain reservations with that. So just to make that clear, this is something that I want to portray here, that this is a service level agreement that SAP gives in its contract. That means 99.7% of credibility that you get when you go forward with SAP. And it just does not cover one of these. It covers your entire landscape, your entire application landscape, end to end, which means that your operating system would run wherever your system is residing, your database would run. On top of it, your SAP applications would run. When you would open that web browser and access that application, that would run. So that kind of credibility is brought by SAP. We say that SAP best practices would cover a very high part of your business, but more than that, what we have is certain degrees of differentiation for customer innovation, which enables you to tweak the solution for your own, right? So when I say that, it means from the initial point, you can have some kind of tweaking with regards to low-code and no-code technologies, which even a business user can do. So the third lever I'll focus on is grow without limits. So what that means is the solution that you're investing in today should not pull you back or should not be a solution that becomes stagnant after one point of time. So this is something which helps you to grow even beyond what you have currently. Probably you are having just one legal entity or two legal entities. You are venturing into a new business space altogether. You are thinking of probably acquisitions going forward or opening a new business vertical. So this solution should not become a bottleneck there and probably help you scale better. Lastly, go live with confidence. What SAP has done with Cloud ERP is really commendable with regards to the whole process. So your best configurable practices or the best industry practices come with it. You do that, scoping in that DDA tool that I showed with the partner, and then that feeds into a tool called Cloud Application Lifecycle Management. Now what it does is, whatever scope items you had already envisioned and discussed with the SAP partner, they will come into this tool and your project will be delivered ready with those kind of best practices. So it is, I would say 50% of job done already, and then whatever delta, that 20% that I talked about, will be needed to be developed and acquainted to your business so that we are reducing the whole go live time. So this is what SAP calls an intelligent enterprise model. If you see at the center, This is the cloud ERP which we have been talking about, which is the core ERP offering in Grow with SAP. On top of it, there are certain solutions which are very important for the business. First one being your human capital management, or the spend management and business network, which is the procurement part, and your CRM, the customer relationship management. So SAP has different offerings in these verticals as well, which you can look forward once your core system is ready. And on top of it, we have other ecosystem solutions from our partners who work for different industries very specifically. And then that is how we cover the entire end-to-end business processes. At the bottom of it, interestingly, is business technology platform. So that is something particularly that the cloud ERP is built on. So this is a platform that brings multifold many capabilities like analytics, integration capabilities, advanced technologies, or whatever buzzwords you might have heard of, AI, ML, your chat GPT integrations with your S4HANA, even such kind of functionalities are available at this platform. I'll like to invite my colleague Ipsita Paricha here, who would focus on business technology platform.
What if I told you that there are solutions, there is a platform which will help you to have real-time visibility of data, because your different LOBs or the different processes are seamlessly integrated. I'll start with reporting with SAP Analytics Cloud. Now, what is SAP Analytics Cloud? It is a platform that will enable you to do reporting, dashboarding, and planning and predicting at the same time on one platform. And it is suitable for all types of users. It can be a data analyst or an business decision maker. Everybody can leverage it for planning and predicting and data visualizing. Today we'll see a few of the features of SAP Analytics Cloud, starting with Smart Insights. As you click on the graphs, it is giving you some sort of descriptions and also the factors that are contributing to that very number. And and the next one is Search to Insight. This is a very smart one where you will just type in normal language, like show me the revenue or show me the revenue by quarter, and it will be showing you the graphs. As it types show me the revenue by product, it will be showing the different graphs and everything. And you can add this to your main dashboard. And the next one is Value Driver Tree. And this feature allows our users to do what-if analysis, a very useful tool in order to do planning. For example, what if you would like to see that the budget planning is increased by 10%, and it will show you what will be the effect on all of the budgeting and all of the finances. So this is where SAP build apps, which is low code, no code, meaning you do not have to have knowledge of coding. With the drag and drop facility, you will be able to build apps. So Munna Bhai was able to build an app, and that was posted into Circuit's dashboard, which is also built on WorkZone. Now Circuit is happy to see that there is certain program which will help him, and he'll gain another chain on his leg. Now we'll talk about how we can automate our different processes. Now companies are looking for automating their different repetitive tasks, or the tasks that can be that do not require any intervention or would save their valuable time. So this is where Munna Bhai thinks that Circuit is one of their dealers. Likewise, he has so many dealers, meaning that all the dealers have different formats of invoices. And it has been a cumbersome task for him to look into all of the details about all the invoices. So he takes the help of SAP build process automation. So here what happens is, any PDF or be it on paper, the invoices details will be scanned by a bot, which is built on IRPA, that is Intelligent Robotic Process Automation. And the relevant data will be picked up and put into a form, and there will be a workflow or the business rule will be defined, and it will go into the relevant approver. And this is how the invoices will be stored into the core ERP, that is S/4HANA. Many colleagues are here from manufacturing industry, and incidents do happen. There are some failures of machineries, or there are some damages that has to be reported. But workers do not report that because they find getting into a system, logging in the incidents is a wastage of time. So this is where an application has been developed which will scan the details of written on a piece of paper, and with OCR it will be recognizing the different characters which is written on the piece of paper, and with our collaboration of OpenAI GPT, it will able to recognize what language it has been written, and afterwards it will collect all of the required details onto onto a form, and this form will be uploaded into S/4HANA EHS. So it is high time that businesses also start using BTP technology, that is BTP platform, in order to be at the forefront and leverage it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ipshita and Rishabh. I think the session was fairly useful. We have a very special guest amongst us this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have Dr. Himanshu Rai amongst us today. Sir, it would be an honor to call you to the stage. And ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm round of applause for Professor Rai.
Very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Just to tell you as to why am I talking about this, आखिर इसके विषय में मैं क्यों बात कर रहा हूँ कि collaboration के माध्यम से हम एक सामाजिक बदलाव कैसे ला सकते हैं. That is because earlier, whenever we talked about management education, I'm going to limit myself to management education, which is higher education. I'm not going to enter into some other mode. The entire point of management education was to develop business acumen and to focus on certain technical aspects of things. But if you look at the mission statements, just to take one, to develop into a leading international business school through a commitment to innovative quality provision. First of all, it's not talking about solving anything. It is not talking about any partnership. It is not saying anything concrete. And with these kind of very global mission statements that business schools, education institutions, higher education institutions, universities across the world had, what we had was businesses breaching trust. To me, the way forward, and that is what I want to stress upon all of you today, it really doesn't matter which company do you join hands with. It really doesn't matter who you join hands with, but please remember, these are not suppliers. These are not suppliers. You are not customers. These are partners. And therefore, the key to collaboration is that you work together to solve problems, whoever it is that you work for. And therefore, collaborating. I'm going to talk about how can we collaborate with industry, government, administration, NGOs, and startups to foster innovation. But in particular, I'm going to talk about innovations that can actually solve wicked problems. IIM Indore talks about being a contextually relevant business school with world-class academic standards that develops socially conscious managers, leaders, and entrepreneurs. Now, I can talk about all of these for hours together, but what I'm going to focus on is how have we put contextually relevant along with world-class to generate something where we can talk about social consciousness. And thus, just to tell you as to what my vision was when I took charge of this place on 31st December 2018 was to solve wicked problems. And what as institution we did was we identified 5 wicked problems. And I'm going to spend some time talking about each of these very, very briefly as to how did we collaborate to actually come up with solutions to these wicked problems. Income disparity, which is a bane for our country, rural problems, and to see if we can catalyze the growth over there, environmental conservation, the lack of entrepreneurial motivation in the country in general, and some of the urban problems. Environment. Everybody is talking about environment. Everybody is talking about what do we do to actually, we can't reverse climate change, by the way, because many times people think that if we stop emitting greenhouse gases, we are good. I'm so sorry. bad news. I'm the harbinger of bad news. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but greenhouse gases take 80 to 100 years to dissipate. Even if I had a magic wand, and even if we stop emitting greenhouse gases, this planet is going to become hotter. The only thing is, can we leave it in a better state for our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren? And I think we owe it to them. I'm going to talk about only two of these. We have zero plastic, of course, single-use plastic. This is where we joined hands with the Madhya Pradesh government and a startup, and using a model called RESCO model, we actually managed, despite the fact, I don't know, how many of you have been to IIM Indore? Have you seen the campus? You've been there, of course. Now, those of you who have not been to IIM Indore campus, it's actually on a hill. It's called Prabandh Shikhar. And therefore, we do not have a face to put a lot of solar panels, and yet, what we did was we managed to put solar panels so as to draw 10% electricity from solar panels as of today. We are expanding our campus with a very ambitious project of about 540 crores, and that particular expansion is going to be net zero so far as electricity is concerned. How did we do that? As I said, we joined hands with a startup, which was actually looking at solar panels, and we didn't have to buy anything. We used the RESCO model, where it is somebody else who actually puts it out there and takes care of it. All we have to do is we have to pay the per unit charges. Now, this is innovation which is at the cutting edge of everything and is solving some kind of a problem. How do you encourage entrepreneurship? We tried to build an entrepreneurial track, and we told the students, hey, if you join this entrepreneurial track, we are going to decrease your study load by 50%. And we are going to actually evaluate you on your startup idea. Guess how many students out of 600 signed up for it? We were heartbroken that, oh my God, we thought that we had created something fantastic. Now, how do you develop this spirit? What we did was, we said, we keep mentoring startups as an IIM. Why don't we let students run everything on the campus? Now, the mess of the students is being run by the students of the campus. And all the stalls over there, whether it's a tea stall, whether it's a coffee stall, whether it's a Maggie stall, is actually being run by the students who then sell it to the subsequent batch. And therefore, what we have done is, by actually joining hands with the startup ecosystem, we are helping students manage their own affairs while developing entrepreneurial spirit while they are in there. So they're getting a hands-on experience of something which is their own. And thus, by doing all of this, we also joined hands with the MSMEs of Indore. And we curated a program called General Management Program for Executives, which came out of working with them and trying to understand their problems. Where does this come from? You know, one of my professors, he used to say, Himanshu, ज्ञान वर्षा हर समय हर स्थान पे होती है. प्रश्न ये है कि तुम उस ज्ञान वर्षा में सुराही लेकर के गए हो कि घड़ा? क्यों? क्योंकि अगर सुराही लेकर के गए हो तो उसका मुंह इतना छोटा है कि कुछ भी उसके अंदर नहीं जाएगा. Which means, do you approach people with an open heart or not? And second, which is more important, घड़ा तो लेकर के गए हो, कहीं भरा हुआ घड़ा तो नहीं ले गए हो, क्योंकि अगर वो पहले से ही भरा हुआ है तो भी उसके अंदर कुछ नहीं जाएगा. सो अगर आप लोग यहाँ ये सोच के आएंगे कि ये हमें क्या बताएंगे, IIM इंदौर के, ये तो एकेडमिशियन है, ये SAP वाले हमें क्या बताएंगे, हमको अपना धंधा पता है, हमको अपना बिजनेस पता है, तो भी अंदर कुछ नहीं जाएगा, क्योंकि घड़ा भरा हुआ है. Which means, do you approach people with an open mind or not? And if you approach people with an open heart and an open mind, and therefore, what you need is an open heart and open mind. The global lessons, because we are talking about a global Bharat movement. All of these that I talked about are very, very local experiments that we have done. This lesson that we have learned is that if we can bridge this academia, administration, NGOs, politicians, this particular gap, and come together, we can actually come up with some amazing innovative solutions. When we come up with such amazing innovative solutions, we are also bringing communities closer to each other. We attract a diverse pool of talent. What I want you people to do is join hands to create a better future. When you bring your vision and your imagination together, that is where you will get a sense of purpose. Second, I know you are all passionate, and which is why you are here spending this evening with all of us. To that passion, add a little bit of compassion. Because when you bring in compassion to passion, that is where you start feeling more meaningful. So, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing that I have to tell you is, that you can actually make a difference if you bring together your purpose, your passion, and join hands with those who also have a sense of purpose, who also have a sense of shared passion. Together, we can create this global Bharat. Let's be a part of that movement. Thank you very much.
That was very inspiring, sir. Thank you so much. I wish to call upon Mr. Mohit Nagori for his next session, talking about how is this company trying to help organizations like YouScale with SAP and technology similar to that. Mr. Nagori, over to you.
As a OSWAL, we are a 43-year-old plus group. We have more than 1,300 team members with us and we are growing fast. We have many accreditations including CRISIL, including CMI level 3, and we are present across India now. 10 years down the line, things change. उन्होंने बोला PO तो बना रहे पर PO बना के फायदा क्या? अगर मैं PO बना रहा हूँ और मुझे लास्ट 3 रेट पॉपअप नहीं हो रही है तो मेरे लिए कोई काम की नहीं है. अगर मैं PO बना रहा हूँ और डिविएशन के बाद अगर वो अप्रूवल पे नहीं जा रहा है तो मेरे कोई काम का नहीं है. मैं हर चीज खुद अपने आप कस्टमाइज सॉफ्टवेयर बना रहा हूँ तो इट डजंट मेक मोर सेंस टू मी. That time, what we explained and what thing was SAP. A robust system जो benchmarking और best practices पे बना है और जिसमें workflows है. हम approvals लगा सकते हैं, alerts लगा सकते हैं, scheduled reports लगा सकते हैं. तो वो ऐसा टाइम था जब SAP आया. That was हम इस इंदौर में 10 साल पहले बोलते हैं. और हमारे पास बहुत सारे ऐसे early adopters भी SAP के. Providing each and every technology from mobility, from IoT, from machine learning in and around SAP so that your enterprise can run better and can meet the competition in today's world. So ये हमारे SAP के कुछ quick facts हैं. We have a team of 100 plus members. SAP we mainly practice in Bombay, Indore, Jaipur and Bhopal. हमारी strength सबसे ज़्यादा दो है. पहली है 2-tier expertise. हमारी maximum जो strength है हम 2-tier city में SAP implement करते, maintain करते और उसको scale करते हैं. सेकेंड चीज हमारी अपनी डोमेन नॉलेज. सो दिस इज हाउ अ वेरी क्विक फैक्ट्स. तो एक सिस्टम की लाइफ साइकिल होती है, वो क्या होती है? प्रोबेबली कोई भी जाना होता है वो मैनुअल अकाउंटिंग से चालू करता है हमारे यहाँ, या बेसिक अकाउंटिंग पैकेज लेके चालू करते हैं. फिर वो कोई पैकेज लेते हैं जिसमें टैक्स और इन्वेंट्री सॉफ्टवेयर इंटीग्रेट हो जाता है, या साथ में इन्वेंट्री और टैक्स मैनेजमेंट के लिए कोई सॉफ्टवेयर लेते हैं. फिर जैसे कंपनी प्रोसेसेस बढ़ती है वो स्प्रेडशीट्स का यूज करने लग गए. पहले एक्सेल चल रहा था, आजकल गूगल ड्राइव भी बहुत चलने लग गया. जब हमें पहले 4 स्टेजेस के चैलेंजेस पता चल जाते हैं तब हम जाते हैं स्टैंडर्ड सॉफ्टवेयर पे, और फिर हम हमारे लिए नेक्स्ट हो गया कि हम आए उस सोल्यूशन पे जो हमें एक बेटर और इंटेलिजेंट एंटरप्राइज बनाए जो इंडस्ट्री 4.0 हो गया. ये टेक्निकली या प्रॉपरली हमारी एक कंपनी की लाइफ साइकिल और सिस्टम है. तो हमें एक स्ट्रॉन्ग रोबस्ट स्ट्रक्चर्ड ट्रांजेक्शनल डेटा सिस्टम चाहिए. दैट इज द फर्स्ट रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ एनी डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन एंड दैट इज SAP कोर सिस्टम. एज अ कंपनी हम उस पर फोकस करना चाहिए जो हमारे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. और आज की तारीख में जो ग्रो विद SAP और राइज विद SAP ऑफरिंग है उसके अंदर तो टोटल ऑनर्स SAP ने ले लिया. चाहे वो क्लाउड हो, चाहे वो IT हो, चाहे वो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हो, चाहे वो स्केबिलिटी हो, सब कुछ उसने ले लिया. हमारे लिए सिस्टम लाइफ साइकिल की हम कौन सी स्टेज में, कौन सी स्टेज से हमें फाइनल डेस्टिनेशन पे पहुंचना है, ये हम लोगों को एनालिसिस करना है. और जो आप ये एनालिसिस करते हैं उस पूरे के अंदर वी आर जस्ट योर टेक्नोलॉजी. सो दिस वाज जस्ट अ ब्रीफ ऑफ व्हाट वी डू, हमें क्या करना चाहिए, एंड दैट्स इट फ्रॉम माय साइड. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Mohit. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now get into an interaction. I wish to invite Mr. Prerak Murdia, Directors Bakersville, on stage. Mr. Murdia, please.
आपके बारे में कुछ बताइए. Tell us something about yourself.
23 तो बहुत लोग होंगे यहाँ पे जिनका एवरेज एक्सपीरियंस इंडस्ट्री में मेरी एज से ज़्यादा होगा.
बिल्कुल.
आई जॉइन द बिजनेस 3 years back and that too because of COVID. So COVID happened, last year of college went online. So college was till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock I started coming office. We manufacture bakery ingredients and food ingredients, but primarily it's bakery for us. The Bakersville as the legal entity, it's 10 years old. So previously we used to do trading of food ingredients. So we used to be dealers for major food ingredients companies for MP and central part of India. 10 years back, Dad found out that baking is going huge globally, and in India baking has not evolved so much. So उनको एक gap, he found a gap that कि इतना baking India में नहीं है जितना होना चाहिए, and then he started this bakery industry. So we started as an importer, then we started manufacturing something, and now our core focus is on manufacturing and make the whole idea of make it in India.
In the recent years, and you brought out a point around COVID, and a lot of things which were never thought or planned has started changing. So, us dauran, what is it that you as a company did, which ensured that your business continued?
The highest sales we did was in COVID. So people started baking more at home. So the main problem for in COVID for us was not the sales part, but the supply chain part. So we had orders flushed to the limit. Our factories were maybe operating 16 hours, 18 hours a day. So तब जाके हमको evaluate हुआ कि if we are not able to produce, or at a point ऐसा हो गया था कि we have stopped putting pressure on sales. कि मतलब जितना भी माल we are making it, just उसको the orders which are coming in, the whole focus was on कि कैसे उसको बना के just ship those orders. Okay. So जब समझ में आया कि as Mohit was talking about early कि सब चीज़ का entry है कि एक बोतल इधर से इधर गया, एक बोतल इधर से इधर गया, तो उसका कोई एनालिसिस नहीं हो रहा है कि वो बोतल क्यों गया, वो बोतल कितना डैमेज हो रहा है. तो दैट पॉइंट वी डिसाइडेड दैट हमको चेंज करना पड़ेगा. देन वी ऑप्टेड, वही किया है कि अभी टैली यूज़ कर रहे थे, फिर सोचा कस्टमाइज सॉफ्टवेयर बना लेते हैं, 3-4 सप्लाई वेंडर से सॉफ्टवेयर बनाया, कुछ नहीं चला, फिर एक दूसरी ERP कंपनी के साथ ट्राई किया, वो भी नहीं चला. तो देन वी फोकस की ठीक है, लेट्स गो, अब दिमाग नहीं लगाते ज़्यादा कि व्हाट्स द बेस्ट अवेलेबल, लेट्स गो विद दैट.
आपका विजन क्या है? आप एक यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर हो, यू हैव जस्ट टेकन चार्ज इन द कंपनी. वेयर डू यू सी और वेयर डू यू वांट योर कंपनी टू गो?
So right now we just do bakery decorations, not the whole baking thing.
Yes.
So in that, as per our estimates, we have around 30 to 40% market share. So we want to extend that in whole baking thing. So the thing for us was we have to scale rapidly now, because what's going to happen, what we are seeing, a lot of those European companies which we were importing from, which are trying to come to India, and they have, so it's a time of 3 to 4 years. Agar isme, if you are not able to scale, because we will face tougher competition from those players, because their market share in Europe is reducing, or they are facing more competition, so they are trying to come into newer territory. It's a massive market. It's a huge, the global Bharat stories. Everybody wants to do business in India right now. Correct. So I think right now we have those 3-4 years ka lag, which is, you can say, the golden opportunity to scale right now. So hope ki jo SAP hai, and with everything we can scale it much more faster and much more efficient way.
On that note, I would request Neeraj ji to come on stage. ऐसी क्या दो चीज़ें आपको लगती है जो टेक्नोलॉजी एक ट्रेडिशनल बिजनेस के लिए बदल सकती है आने वाले समय में?
So मतलब मेजर we had a very अभी भी इश्यूज हैं हमारे पास डेस्कटॉप्स के जी, बहुत इश्यूज हैं, और ऑर्डरिंग पैटर्न जो होता है वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मूड पे होता है एक्चुअली. अगर काम बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है तो ऑर्डर ज़्यादा हो जाता है, काम अगर कम चल रहा है तो ऑर्डर कम हो जाता है, या जो बैंक बैलेंसेस बोल रहे हैं उस पर भी ऑर्डरिंग होती है, उससे बहुत नुकसान होता है. तो ऑर्डरिंग पैटर्न, क्योंकि मैं सेल परचेज का 2 ही पार्ट देख रहा हूँ कंपनी के मेजर, तो एक तो ऑर्डरिंग पैटर्न में बहुत नुकसान होता है. अगर हमारे पास कोई उसको स्केल करने का कोई तरीका नहीं है और एकदम लाइवली अपडेट नहीं है जी, तो मतलब पर्सनली अगर मुझे कोई नुकसान हुआ है टेक्नोलॉजी को लेट अडॉप्ट करके, तो ऑर्डरिंग पैटर्न में बहुत नुकसान.
On that note, I really wish to thank both of you for giving us time today. I wish to call upon Mr. Mauli, who heads and leads the training and education practice in SAP. Well, I'll let Mr. Mauli do the talking.
Good evening to one and all. My name is Chandra Maulishwaran. You can call me Mauli. And I am a solution architect with the training and adoption team of SAP in India. We are actually living in an era of digital Darwinism. This is what at least many of the experts say, where they believe that the technology and society are progressing at such a rapid pace, organizations are finding it difficult to keep pace with it. Because if you look at any organization, it will be today a multi-generational organization. Even be it be an SME also, it will be a multi-generational organization. You will have people in the 20s to the people in the 50s. And all of these people need to recalibrate themselves and adapt to the new technology breakthrough that you are bringing in to bring your business, run and grow your business, which is a big ask. And that is where we from SAP training and adoption focus on the people dimension, while the others focus on the technology dimension. We focus on the people dimension. So our mantra is very simple. We have a simple formula to make this success that you are all envisioning with SAP Intelligent Solutions, where an intelligent enterprise is a sum of two things. One, obviously, you need to invest in intelligent applications like Grow with SAP and BTP, etc. And equally important is an investment in people. And when it comes to people, there are two types of people you may want to have in your organization who need to be recalibrated. One is your core team, which are people, a handful of people, maybe even one. That's good. It depends on the size of your organization, 1 or 2 or 5 or 10, whatever, depending on the size of your organization, who should have an in-depth knowledge of the SAP solutions. And the second one is the business end users. This is where the real challenge happens, because even if it's only 20 users or 200 users or 2,000 users or 20,000 users in your organization, doesn't matter. The biggest thing about technology, the first presenter talked about predictability. And the biggest problem with humans is the same thing, predictability. So that is where we have two solutions. I'm just leaving the thought for two solutions with you. We have something called SAP Learning Hub, which is actually a cloud-based named user subscription. So if you look at, this is for the people I talked about, a handful of people in your organization whom I think you should have with deep understanding of SAP solutions, so that they can actually keep maintaining the solutions and augmenting the solutions after you go live the first time. What we have done in the Learning Hub is we have put all these together in a cloud-based subscription model. So if I were to make it very easy for you to understand, it's more like a Amazon Prime or a Netflix from SAP. So you subscribe for it, that person will get access to all our content for 1 year, including content, server, and coaching and certification. So that's the first solution, which is Learning Hub, which is for those handful of people. The second one is for the larger set of people who are your end users, who could be many in number. So that's where we have a solution called SAP Enable now. This application itself has an inbuilt portal through which people can learn, or if you have an LMS application, learning management system, on that you can launch these content and make people learn. And most important thing, that's the last thing which is very, very important, which is in-application help, where when a person is in a live application, if the person doesn't know how to do a particular transaction, at a click of a button, they will get a guided tour, like how a parent would teach a baby to take baby steps. It will tell, okay, now go to this field, input this data. Now go to the next field, input this data. So that's the way it will actually guide you. So that's what we call as in-application help. So all these can tremendously optimize your training investments and also adoption challenges, and your return on investment will be much faster and much larger. So whenever you are planning on an SAP solution, or if you are already on SAP solutions, please do consider SAP Learning Hub and SAP Enable now as two add-on solutions which will help you really reap the benefits of the investments you have done in SAP. Thank you very much for the patient listening.
Thank you so much, Mauli. That was very, very effective and useful. I want to bring my next speaker, Mr. Robin Garg, on stage. He's from Microsoft and Microsoft Azure. He'll talk about the Microsoft and SAP partnership.
I think 27 years of SAP and 25 plus years partnership which both the organizations have, with each other. And in this partnership, there have been a lot of solutions which have been developed between both the teams, utilizing the strength of each other. So for example, if I talk about Microsoft, we have a wonderful product called Microsoft Teams, which has been, utilized by, I would say, the market share of which has been, on a, very high, especially from the COVID. If you will see, out of 3 organizations, one team is, one organization's minimum, using Teams. If you are a SAP SuccessFactors, which is a world-leading, product for HR solution, right? If you're using SAP SuccessFactors, there is a good integration between both the Microsoft Teams platform and SAP SuccessFactors. And we are revolutionizing the way interviews are done. If let's say you are from the HR department and you want to, conduct an interview for a certain candidate, with the help of this particular integration and ChatGPT, you will get interview questions on the Teams chat itself, right? And you will be able to rate the candidate then and there itself, and the information will be then put back in the SAP system, right? How we are revolutionizing the Microsoft Teams and SAP integration, wherein inside the Microsoft Teams, as a business user, as a CXO of the organization, you will be able to see all the key KPIs in one screen directly from the SAP, right? Otherwise, you might have to go to different screens. If you are on on a mobile, or you want experience on a go. In that case, with the simple click on the Microsoft Teams, because obviously you spend most of the time on a collaboration platform. If it is a phone, you spend most of the time probably on Microsoft Teams, a Slack, or a WhatsApp kind of a platform, right? So you will be able to see all the key KPIs in one single screen. This is with the help of the SAP BTP layer, which is Business Technology Platform, and all the data will directly flow from the SAP RISE environment into the Microsoft Teams. We will be able to track any of the security or incident which is happening, right? We will be able to do a threat management analysis very seamlessly, and this is a certified solution by SAP for the RISE environments, which will be able to do a threat detection of the entire cloud, right? Not only SAP, but of the non-SAP applications as well. This slide, talks about, how we will make a end-to-end, enterprise, end-to-end data lake kind of an architecture by using Microsoft Azure as a platform, wherein the core will be powered by SAP, the digital core by SAP RISE, wherein all the data sources, right, of data of the vendors, data of our customers, data of our, invoice providers, all the invoices, all the partners, right? Their data will store, and we will have a lot of non-SAP data as well. We might have data from Salesforce, or we might have, data from other systems which is coming. We might have data from social media which is coming. Now, at the end of the day, how will you, make a, sense out of the data? So that is, possible by using, Azure Data Lake services, wherein all the data from different sources that can be collected at one particular place, and it can be presented to all the CEOs, the CIOs, the CXOs in a very meaningful way. And also we have, other services like Azure Fabric now, which is, a single data lake solution wherein all the end-to-end services are integrated into one. So one differentiator, if I talk from the cloud perspective, right, is that Microsoft has, all the services which are very native in nature, right? We operate our own services. We don't have, we have option of third-party services, but we prefer to work with our own services. So that's a, very big advantage when you are talking about a end-to-end data lake kind of an architecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Robin. Ladies and gentlemen, before we call it a close for the day, I wish to remind you that it is your last opportunity to be part of the Global Bharat survey. All you need to do is to scan a QR code that you can see right behind your badge or on your tables. Scan the QR code. It will take you perhaps a minute or less to share your views and opinion about the state of economy, the technology, and certain initiatives that are coming your way in the years to come. On that note, I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for being a very patient audience today. We really hope that you found value from these sessions, and I could have not been here had we not got the support of some of our dignitary speakers and our sponsors, Oswald and Microsoft Azure. And of course, thank you TV9, who would be creating an episode out of this session, which would be available on News 9, that's their English OTT platform. So stay tuned, we'll be sending out more details to you. Thank you so much, good evening, and I'm Praveen Rao, Director Marketing, signing off for the day.